to my late night stream. We're back with GranBlue Fantasy. As you can probably see, everything's in English now. The long-awaited English patch finally came, and it's pretty awesome. Happy to be able to read things now, so let's go ahead and check this out. Man, this is so cool. Everything is in English now. For the longest time, I had no idea what a lot of this stuff was. And they actually really did go through and try to translate everything. So I guess I can see why it took so long, but this is just so nice to be able to read everything now. Hello. So here we can see here's the current summon banner. And it looks like it's more for the summons rather than characters. So I'm probably not going to pull on this. I don't really care too much about these summons right now. Yup, the English patch finally dropped. Do my random ticket pull here. Nothing. Everybody's been waiting for this. I told a few of my friends they all went nuts. Cause that's been the biggest thing is like it's a real pretty game. And a lot of people wanted to get into this. But the biggest problem is that, you know, everything's in Japanese, like strictly Japanese, and you can't tell what's going on. So it scared a lot of people into wanting to play it. I mean, for the longest time I was struggling with this because there were certain things where I would try to do a dungeon and there was a restriction, but I couldn't tell what the restriction was. Like one of them I just found out was basically there's one character that I couldn't have on my team, and I had no idea of knowing that. But I just found that out and I was finally able to beat it. So that's really cool. So right now this is the current event. Rise of the Southern Beast. And the big thing that people want from this event is this weapon right here. So that's what I'm working toward trying to get. I don't know if I'm going to go for this seal. And then this is a gacha for a fire type SR. Don't know if I want to go for that either. So I'm about 1/3 of the way. So that's what I'm going to be working on in a little bit. I'll just take a look at some of these other things that are going on. So this is an event that's coming up soon. For those that play Street Fighter, you should be able to recognize that this is indeed Rashid, one of the new characters from Street Fighter V, and that's a story that's coming. If y'all have watched some of my earlier videos, y'all would know that earlier when I first started, they were actually doing a Street Fighter 4 collaboration. So this actually is not too much of a surprise.
Another fight is coming your way.
So it sounds like Rashid is taking on somebody. Hopes to rumble with an ancient warrior. So it's probably going to be him and Nikali. Is anyone watching Animu? What is Animu? You saying anime? This is the bonus that they're doing right now. You can either use crystals to do the gotcha pulls, or you can pay for a multi gotcha pull. Sometimes they'll come with bonuses. This one is coming with outfits for your characters. I don't really care about the skins, so I'm not going for this. Other times they have these set up to where you buy a multi and you get to choose an SSR unit. That's the really good one. So that's, yeah, I wouldn't buy this. I don't care too much about the outfits. What's up, Eisen? Okay, so let's go ahead and do some of these real quick. Okay, the Extreme Plus, I'm trying to see if I can wait for it to get down to like 1. Because when it gets down to a certain HP, it only costs like 1 energy to do it. Like this one right here. I'm going to try to sneak in. Let me in, let me in. Shut up. Let me hit him. Yes. So for a lot of these big fights, you only need to hit him once to get credit for being in the fight. By far the coolest thing about this patch is I can actually see what these attacks actually do. Like, I knew these powered up, but I didn't know exactly how they worked. No, this is the same account. There's a new English patch. So I can finally figure out what's going on. What is this random crap? Oh, battle's ended. Like, for this unit right here, I knew his 3 attacks. The first one was an actual hit. The other 2 were power-ups, but I didn't know exactly what they did. I finally found out now that it's in English. The second one basically gives him like dodge, so he just like totally can't be hit as long as his power-up is up to level 3. And then the third special that he has gives him the level 3 evasion. So it took me that long to finally figure that out. If you're super new in this game, there's a good forum to check out, the gbfenglish.proboards.com or gbf-english.proboards.com. That's where I went to get a lot of the info. And then this thread right here is so godlike. Like, now that it's in English, you can probably figure some things out, but the thread that I just posted up in the chat, check that out. That is what got me through most of the stuff at the beginning. You know, I mean, now that it's in English, it'll help you out a lot more, but, you know, that's a great way to start. The crystals that they give you, like, early on you can probably just do a bunch of the story mode to get a lot of the crystals, and they'll be collected here. I would say save them up until they do Legend Fests, which they're not doing right now, but you'll be able to know now that, you know, it's in English. It'll tell you. Like right now, the premium draw is not for characters, because the characters, when you pull them, they come with an SSR weapon and an SSR character. These right here are just for SSR summons, so that's not quite as good. So I would skip out on this current banner and wait till a better one comes up. When it comes to these events though, if you're able to do it, I would say try to collect your red points here to do the raids. And if you can get it on a raid, all you have to do is hit. You don't even have to do any damage. You can just hit and you can still get credit for the prizes that it gives you. And that's how you earn a bunch of the stuff for the prizes. Like what I'm doing is I'm just waiting to see till they get down to a certain point. And right here, when it gets to 1, that's when I try to jump in. When should you summon? You should summon when you get the 3,000 crystals, so you can do a multi-summon. It's not on the English App Store. You have to download from the Japanese App Store. So, get Q app, and that will be able to allow you to download games from Japan, from Korea, from Asia. I mean, that's also how I got the Japanese version of Dokkan Battle on my phone. See, like right there, all I have to do is attack once and I'm already qualified to get, you know, loot from this raid. And for the story mode, I mean for the event mode, raids usually will get a lot of people in it. So you don't even have to worry about trying to defeat it. Like you can even start a raid and, you know, down here, request backup. You just go on there and request backup. And usually people are pretty quick, especially for the events. What's up, Demon Buster? Dude, this patch is so good. Being able to finally know what's going on, oh my god. Because there's also like the story mode, like I'll show you some of that in a minute. But there were so many quests that it would not let me in, and I had no idea why. And I couldn't find anything in the forums or anything that really tell me what was going on. Combo chance is someone else is throwing a summon, and so when you see combo chance come up, you just throw your own summon, and then they show them both going up together. Like if it does it again, I'll do it and I'll show you. See, like right here. So it's gonna show the other guy's summon first, like that, and then it'll show like the after effect of yours. Yeah, you should hurry up and try to do the. Oh, I don't know about the towel. The towel's gonna be tough. You got like 2 hours before the update hits. Like, I'll be honest, most of the stuff I already know that I'm seeing. Like this, I could kind of tell what all the powers were doing. I just didn't know what the exact things they were doing. So that's what I need the translations for, and also for the quests that I couldn't get into. Looks like this is gonna be a while. Like typically, so it costs 5 of the EP points in order to get into the beginning of the raid. When he gets about 50%, it'll drop to 3, and then when he gets to about 25% or less, it'll be about 1. And that's usually what I'm trying to figure out. Like unless you're like a super heavy hitter that's going for MVP, there's no difference between jumping in at 5, 3, or 1 energy. At least for me, because I don't do that much damage. But you still get the same loot unless you're the guy that starts it or the guy that gets MVP. Oh, you only need one more? Cool. Vegeta's being a punk. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get that. Well, this is how you can tell. Like, there's gonna be a bunch of different quests. Like, in story mode, you'll see there's, like, the world map, where you have different areas and stuff like that. So, going to one of the areas... Oh, which one was that? This one? You'll see the rewards. So, these crystals right here are like their currency. Like, these are basically dragon stones. And you can use that to either buy stuff, like you can use them to expand your inventory space, your character space, you know, different things, or you use them to summon. So just like how dragon stones are. So doing those quests, you get a certain amount of crystals. They also give away crystals. There's other things that you can do for crystals, and they accumulate here. For summons, it's like 300 crystals to do a YOLO, or 3,000 for a multi. Based from my experience, I just save up and do multis. I've had pretty good luck with it. Like, I think there's only been 2 or 3 multis I've done where I didn't get an SSR. Um, but I've had quite a few of them. So when you get to this menu, this shows you your weapons, your characters, and your summons. So here's some of the SSR weapons. And typically, obviously, they have higher attack. They also have higher ceilings. When you get them max level, they can go all the way up to 100, whereas SRs only go up to a max 75. And then characters here. And you have your Rs, your SRs, and your SSRs. So same deal. SSRs usually have the higher ceiling. Like this one is currently the highest out of my group in terms of ceiling. He can go up to level 100, which I've only got him up to 82. This guy here is my highest attack, but he's only maxed out at 80. So out of the SSRs, some of them have the chance to upgrade to a 5th star. So kind of like the difference between a UR and an LR. Except instead of 100 and 120, SSRs goes up to 80, and then I guess it's about the same. SRs go up to 80, and then the other one you could call a UR goes up to 100. And then here's the summons. Some of these are my new ones, SSRs. And then the SRs, same thing. SRs can max out to 75, and these guys upgrade up to 100 once you get all of them. Or actually, yeah, I think they do go all the way up to 100. Yeah, 100. How do you train? Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. To train up, you go to the menu, and when you go to the menu, you go to upgrade, which is where I was earlier. So you can upgrade either characters, weapons, or summon. Summons can only be upgraded by using other summons. So let's say we choose her. when you get to this part, it's going to show all the other summons that are eligible to be combined, you know, just like in Dragon Ball. And then you would pick whoever, and then you go to upgrade, and then it'll show you, you know, right here, shows you how much EXP you gain. Success, grand success rate is like, you know, the multiplier, bonus EXP, and then you just go to upgrade, and then it'll do it. For everything else, they can use weapons. So for like instance, when I'm using these weapons, let's say I'm doing, which one am I going to do? You know what, screw it, go back here. We will do you. Okay, so you pick a weapon, and then you pick what you want to combine it with. So we're going to choose this, go to upgrade. Upgrade. Yes, go ahead. And blah. And then so on and so forth. And that's how you upgrade weapons. Characters, now you can do the same thing with characters, but honestly, it's kind of pointless because they get considerably less EXP from the weapons than actual weapons do. And that's all you can combine with them. You can't combine other characters with them. Characters are all totally separate. So that's how it's different from Dragon Ball in that regard. So that's how you level up weapons and summons. For the characters, the big thing about it is you want to put them in parties, and they'll get their EXP that way from fighting. That's the easiest way to actually level them up. GranBlue can be pretty big, so you probably have to clear out space for it. Now this is the other side of it, uncapping. So whenever you get anything new, it'll start off at 0 stars. Depending on the character, they can have 3 or 4 stars, or even up to 5 stars. Weapons and summons are kind of the same thing, except I think they max out at 4 stars only. So for weapons and summons, the way that they uncap is you have to use one of the same item. That's the only way that they can be uncapped. So like every time you see these weapons with stars, that's because they've been fused with a copy of it or another version of it. So even for the SSRs, the ones that have multiple of this, that means I've pulled this weapon 2 other times or 1 other time. That is the only way to uncap weapons and summons. Summons are the same way. See, this one's up there, and then 2, and then 1, and then 1, and then 1. For the characters, though, awakening or uncapping, that's how you raise their max level. Yeah, their level cap. So for these characters, the way to uncap them is differently. So if you click on a character, what happens is it'll say there's certain items that you need. So once you get these items plus whatever gold it costs to do it, you can raise their cap. So she went from cap at 20 to cap at 30. And that's how you uncap characters. Like there's a bunch of items that you'll see drop from the levels and boss fights and stuff like that. Typically those are for this, for unlocking characters or uncapping characters. There's another thing that you can use stuff for that I haven't got into yet, and that is creating weapons, like the higher end weapons. Like I'm nowhere near that level yet, but like if you click on the link that I gave y'all, it'll talk about it. But that's like really high end game type stuff. I'm nowhere near that level. But anyway, that's leveling and upgrading in a nutshell. Now, for leveling characters, this is how you do it. So you either put the characters in your party, or you can have them as your sub members. Now, sub members only fight if a character dies and they have to replace them. Like, these are basically your bench players. Adrian Anderson 7, thanks for the follow. So if you're into a battle and none of y'all die, then these guys never fight. So you can typically put low level people here so that they can gain EXP without having to do anything, and you don't have to worry about them, getting their butt kicked or dying beforehand. So that's how you level up characters. Now, for your total party, there's different things that go into it. You're going to have, 5 characters on your team besides your main. You also get to pick weapons. Now, this is your weapon pool. Now, depending on what class you are, that's what kind of weapons you want to use. Like, my class typically uses these types of weapons, swords. So I try to put mostly swords. This one I put on there because it's like one of my highest weapons, so I needed the boost in HP and attack. Same with this one. But as you can see, everything else is pretty much a sword. And if it's the right weapon, it'll boost even more. So like you'll get the normal boost from the weapon, and then there's a multiplier attached to it if it's the right kind of weapon. You also pick summons. You can have up to 5. If the element of your main summon, or actually any of your summons, matches what your main character is, so like if she is a water type and I have water type summons, their summon rate, like the one go free to play. If you want to do pay to play, like it's not doing it this time around, but instead of like say this right here, which is like buy a premium 10 pull and you get an outfit, instead of that, oftentimes they'll have another one where it's buy 1 premium 10 pull and get 1 SSR unit, which means that if you had bought it, you get to choose which SSR you want. So if this was in Dragon Ball, it's like you paid for a multi and you get to choose what SSR you want. And typically, I've had a really high success rate with it. Like, whenever they did Legend Fest, I've done maybe about 5 or 6 pulls, and I've gotten 5 SSRs out of it. But that's if you want to go free to play. If you want to do pay to play, like it's not doing it this time around, but instead of like say this right here, which is like buy a premium 10 pull and you get an outfit, instead of that, oftentimes they'll have another one where it's buy 1 premium 10 pull and get 1 SSR unit, which means that if you had bought it, you get to choose which SSR you want. So if this was in Dragon Ball, it's like you paid for a multi and you get to choose what SSR you want. I'm not gonna lie, I actually did do that once, and I did pick my own SSR, and he was pretty good. So there are some people that do that. There's also drops. You can actually get drops from monsters and other raids and have a shot at getting SSRs from that. Let me go back to my thing and I'll show you. So like weapons, summons are usually can actually be dropped from certain bosses. This one I got as a drop. This one I got as a prize. And then summons. Like you'll find in a lot of the raids, you're fighting some of these summons. Trying to see what's a good one. This one right here I got as a prize, and then this one right here I got as a. These two actually I got as drops from actually fighting them. So sometimes they will drop stuff like that. Like some weapons sometimes drop from the raids also. So that's another way of getting them besides pulling. Typically the ones that you pull though are stronger. But like here's another way of getting them. So in events they'll have loot. And as you can see, you can trade for these depending on. Like this one, you're getting these symbols from all the fights, and if you're able to collect enough, you get to you get to buy it. So like here's some more that I can actually buy right now if I wanted to. The last event, instead of weapons, it was summons for the prize, and so I got that as well. So, yeah, if you want to go free to play, there's a lot of things that you can do to get stuff. Like honestly, I've only bought once, and so only one SSR of mine was bought. Everything else I got through free to play. So if you want to go free to play, feel free, go for it. Like you can still get a lot of stuff from just being free to play. Some of my friends still pay to play, but yeah, ever since that first one I haven't. The other thing I like about this game is they do a lot of collaborations. They've done, like I said, Street Fighter 4 before, and so I was able to get Ryu. They're doing another Street Fighter collaboration, which is going to be pretty funny. They did a Slayers collaboration. They did an Idolmaster collaboration. They've done a lot of different collaborations. No, your teams are not limited by cost. You can put whoever you want. No, rank has nothing to do with it. Like, if you just started and you got lucky and you pulled a whole bunch of SSRs, you can throw them on your squad. It does not care. Okay, so here's the loot, like I said. Now they have different ways of doing this. This one is just simply collect medals, exchange. But other ones will have you collect medals that does a event gotcha. What is the world tournament on here? There's not really a world tournament. They do clan battles. No, I'm in a clan, but our clan kind of sucks, so we typically get pushed out pretty early. The clan battles work in a way that in the first day, everyone just goes ham on the dungeon, and the top, I think it's the top 12 teams? The top 12 clans, basically, ranked on points, get separated into 4 divisions, and then they battle royale each other. So the first day is when everyone gets in. After that, they separate it into 2 time slots. The first time slot is the battle royal against the 4 clans, I guess the 4 whatever groups, and then everybody else has to wait until that is over for the day, and then they can come in and do stuff. There's prizes for the top clans. Everybody else gets to bet on who's winning, but you have to earn the betting tickets. And then there's prizes in the event itself that you can get. Okay, so here I'm initiating a raid. So here, this is the main thing I also needed was I didn't know what exactly the boost was these assists were doing, or these summons were doing. 40%, 50%, 30%, 50%, 50. Alright, we'll go with this. So just like in DBZ, you can have different squads set up. For me, typically, teams are really good as a mono versus a rainbow. Typically, you get better bonuses and everything from doing mono teams rather than a rainbow. There's certain assists or certain summons that have really good bonuses for a rainbow squad, but for the most part, you're gonna want to do mono teams. So for this one, we're fighting a fire enemy, so obviously I want to try to do uh, a full water squad, or mostly water squad. What's the strongest character you can pull? You can pull anybody. Everybody is in the event. Like everybody's in the summon. There's always a chance to get anybody in it. I don't remember exactly now how many you get to start. There's a beginner pull that you get when you start, which is typically when people try to re-roll. Although GranBlue kind of frowns upon re-rolling, but you can get an SSR from the beginner's pull. For their beginner pull, though, it's different. It's a general pull, but for less cost. Okay, so obviously this right here is their health. Below, this is their super meter. Obviously when it's 100%, that means they gotta have a super. And then down here, it lights up what skills are active. So for her, skill 1 and skill 4 are ready. There's a couple things that happen with their supers. For one thing, if his super goes off, he actually bumps up the super meter of the people after him. So she would actually jump up 10% if his super went off before hers. So if she was at, like, say 93 instead of 83 and his super went off, she would get her full meter activated in time to do hers. So that's one thing that you can look at in terms of trying to a strategy in terms of attacking. Another thing is if multiple people do their super, they'll do a team up bonus damage at the end of their turn. So what you usually like to do is you like to try to get all 4 of them to attack with their supers at one time, and then they get a giant bonus at the end of it. Yeah, that's what Vegito does, but this is an actual mechanic in the game, though. Now on the enemy, these right here indicate basically their super meter also. When it's full and it starts flashing, that means the next turn they're about to do their super. This right here is their, I guess the best way to put it is like a rage meter. When it hits full, it becomes overdrive, and depending on the monster, they'll have additional damage, additional powers, stuff like that. But it's as a countdown also. So once you get them to overdrive, they'll get the bonus power, attack, whatever. But you can deplete it using attacks. And when you get that meter all the way back down to 0, it'll perform a break. And what the break does is it pauses their meter gain. So for the period while he's on break, he can't gain the meter back. Also, if he has a super, it kind of freezes his super at that point. Now, the only exceptions to that are certain bosses, when they reach 50%, perform a 50% attack, which a lot of times is like a super anyway. So don't confuse that with this super, because it is actually separate. So if he throws it at the 50%, and you get him to the point to where the break is over and he still has full meter, he'll do a super at that point right away. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to get her super up because I want to get all their supers all lined up. Okay, so to prepare for this, I'm going to try to heal. Actually, let's use the individual heals. I'm really surprised no one's jumped in yet. Alright, so let me do this here. Now, if you're strong enough and you can actually get them full and then break, if you're able to wait that long without throwing your super, that's actually the best time, is when they're on break, because you'll do double damage. But I'm nowhere near that point. I need to go ahead and throw this super. There we go. He got his passive off. Okay, so now he's in. Oh, this is gonna suck, actually. Okay, that wasn't too bad. See, this guy's right now one of my favorite characters because his super has a passive that does a bonus attack. Like, once in a while, it'll do a special bonus, which is either like 333,000, 666,000, or 999,000 bonus attack. It's because this is supposed to be a multi-team battle. This is supposed to be a raid, not a single fight. Like, if you look up here, you can have up to 30 people in this fight. So this is typically supposed to be a fight between about 30 people. But I'm doing this by myself, so everything is kind of like, looks like I'm not doing a lot of damage. I'm doing pretty good damage, but the problem is I'm by myself. Like, if I was going to put this in perspective, it'd be like, say we're trying to do an LR boss fight, but it was meant to be 30 of us in the fight and not just one. So it'd be like, say, fighting Brawly, but like 30 times Brawly. I mean, it's going to look like you're not doing anything, but, You know, it's supposed to be meant for a lot of people, not just one guy. Yeah, this is a pretty high-end fight. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, I'm gonna start needing people to join in this fight soon, or else I'm done. Like, trust me, if y'all have just started, y'all are nowhere near this point. If you've just started, just do the story mode. Like, you actually get some SR characters just by doing story mode. What's up, Dan? What's wrong with you? No, they don't work in that way. Yeah, it doesn't really have anything to do with links. It's more element based. So like the only link that's important is that the main character is a water type and everybody else is water types. Do butter pulls. You mean you didn't get Brawly? Alright, people need to jump in here. Pure Evil Bull, the SR one? Yes. That's why it's better to do a mono squad. There was one account that I was so mad, like I pulled that SR Evil Boo, but I already had the STR Evil Boo, so I couldn't even use it. I think it said 2 hours. So this one is probably going to hurt. Kind of want to wait, but oh well. Yes and no. The problem is that, you know, you're talking about the difference between a UR versus an SSR. And because their passive already does a negation, the UR actually does more damage. Wow, that did like no damage. Man, I really need someone to jump in here. I guess to give people more of a shot at getting him, I don't know, because it's a higher rate if he's an SR versus an SSR. I don't know. I think it's dumb too. It makes no sense, but there's not much we can do about it. Up in this corner here is the time limit for the fight. Typically you have an hour and a half to finish the raid. Usually it ends way before that, but man. I think maybe the King Cold Super Strike event. Okay, this super is really gonna hurt. Like, it might actually kill me. Yeah, I got no choice. Alright, let's see what happens. Am I dead? I am almost dead. You have a heal though. Heal me. Did minimal damage. I mean, if it's a tournament, you're getting like 30 Dragon Stones from the tournament anyway. Oh, her heal's up too, sweet. Alright, I can survive a little bit now. Alright, let's wait. I'm gonna try to get trying to get Lancelot super up. Alright, so he's good now. I'm not gonna wait for the last one. She's gonna take too long to get her super. She's only at 35%. Okay, let's go. Wow, that was with the defense up? What in the hell? Yep. There goes my main. So no more summons. Wow, really? Oh, does someone join in finally? Sweet. Okay, so the break happened, so you see now it's like that. Although finally someone joined in. Because I was about to get wrecked. Okay, so now I'm dead. This is the beautiful part about raids. So even if you die, you can still be a part of it without having to rejoin. You can if you want to, but there's really no point. So like, even though someone joined in and finished it off, because I had more points, I was still the MVP. So I got the bonus for that anyway. So scumbag. Do I feel bad about it? No, not at all. I don't mind being scumbag. Yeah, you can come in to any one of them. You can go into the extreme as long as you can get in and land and attack. Even if you don't do any damage and you qualify for prizes. So like here, that's it. I don't have to do crap. I let them kill it. It's really scummy. Like, I admit this is really scummy, but whatever. I can't kill it. I mean, that's similar to what I pulled. I mean, I did the multi-pull. I got an SSR that was totally worthless. This one dude on Facebook keeps asking me the same questions over and over again. Oh yeah, another thing that you can do, and this is only in raids by the way. If you're in a multiplayer raid and you click right here for stickers, like you'll see people randomly throwing out stickers, and it's not just for show. Doing this in a multi fight gives you heals. and but those heals are only used during the raid battle that you're in. From what I heard, the next World Tournament prize is supposed to be really good. At least that's what somebody told me. I don't know if it's for real or not. Let's see if his passive hits on his super. Oh, he didn't get it. Like, his super is so crazy. He gets like that Devilman bonus. I don't know if it's true or not. Someone was telling me it's supposed to be a Super Saiyan God Goku. Yeah, go ahead. There's one of his passives. What the heck? 2 cells and a brawly. How much did that cost? That's not bad. Then again, I wonder how much some of mine are worth then. Because there's not really much in that account besides those 3. And one of them is just going to get fused away anyway, so it's really 2 LRs and that's it. Why would I want to buy your account? You don't have Brawly. Man, for $200, I'd rather just buy the stones. That's like, let me see, it's not quite 50, so 90, 90, 90, 90, 360. I could probably get like 400 stones out of that. God damn. I have a feeling it's either going to be this week or next week. Because the thing is, after the update, we'll see. Because I think they're going to do the... My bet is they're going to do the King Cold Super Strike event. But then we'll have to see what happens on Wednesday. Because Wednesday is usually when they do the update for the World Tournament. How often? I'm not sure. If you go on Reddit, they have a thread where they talk about all the different stun units, what their effects are, how many turns, what's the percentage to stun. Trying to wait for this one Agni fight to get down to 1 energy. Come on. And I think after that, I think I'll be done for today. Yeah, honestly, that's all I wanted was a new SSR. That's the real reason why I was disappointed that it was GT Trunks. It wasn't really because of the card, it was because I already have him. Look, if I didn't care about the card at all, I wouldn't have even bothered with the first one. Although I will say with the Dokkan Fest banner, I had a pretty good success rate with it. Like I think I did 2 multis from it, and I got an SSR each time. Like I did a multi with that one, and I did a multi on the GT, and I got the Super Saiyan 2 GT Goku from the GT summon, and Golden Frieza from the Dokkan Fest. So I'm not going to complain about it. I just wish it was something new. It's supposed to start around 1 a.m. my time. So like 40 minutes. I'm probably going to play this and Bleach during the update time anyway. Unless they have problems with it. And they give us compensation stones. I'm cool with that too. Alright guys, I think that's going to be it for today. But it's in English now, so people know what they're doing. So no, if you've ever wanted to start playing this game, now's the perfect time. Alright guys, that's it. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.